This is definitely the most must-see movie of the season. The story takes place in a small coastal town. The weather forecast had issued a warning long ago. A powerful hurricane was closing in on the coast. Many residents had already begun evacuating, but just at this critical moment, the town's beef processing plant hadn't shut down yet. The female lead, Lisa, was heavily pregnant and about to give birth, yet her boss insisted she stay and work. She was understandably upset, but for the sake of her job, she had no choice but to finish her shift. She finally makes it through her shift. Outside, the wind is already blowing so hard it's hard to stand. Lisa rushes home in her car. There's still a truck driver at the plant who hasn't left. He's determined to deliver the last shipment of beef. Neither of them realizes that this shipment of beef is about to become the catalyst for an even greater disaster. She had planned to stop at the supermarket to buy some food, but it turns out the store has already closed. The wind is howling louder and louder outside, and the sign is being blown until it's teetering on the brink of collapse. Lisa finally realized that this storm might be more dangerous than she'd imagined. She didn't dare stay in town any longer, and decided to head straight for the highway. Just get out of here first. But halfway there, she discovered that the road ahead was blocked by several fallen trees. The truck loaded with beef was also stopped on the side of the road, and the driver was pacing anxiously, since this was the main road out of town. The fallen trees had trapped everyone there. Seeing that Lisa's car was smaller, someone suggested she squeeze through the branches, but as soon as she edged the front of her car in, the undercarriage got stuck on the branches. She couldn't move forward or back. Just then, a series of muffled thuds echoed from the distance. The seawall had been breached by a massive wave. In the next second, seawater surged toward the town. Seeing the floodwaters approaching, the truck driver slammed on the gas, trying to drive up the hill, but the truck was too heavy. There was simply no time. A massive wave crashed into the truck, sweeping it back onto the street. Lisa couldn't avoid it either. Her car was lifted by the floodwaters and tossed around the street like a toy. Seconds later, the car slammed into a large tree. The body of the car was pierced by branches. Fortunately, the branches didn't pierce her body, but they trapped her firmly in her seat. To make matters worse, the water level kept rising, and the car quickly filled with water. Lisa could only scream for help. Just as she was losing hope, two residents rowed past in a small boat. A bearded man swam over to Lisa's car. He tried to pry the door open, but the branches were jammed too tightly he couldn't budge it. The bearded man told his companion to go get tools. He reassured Lisa that he would definitely get her out. Suddenly, his companion let out a blood-curdling scream. An entire arm was missing. Before the bearded man could react, a girl suddenly shouted at them, telling them to get out of the water immediately. It turned out there were sharks in the floodwaters. The bearded man turned to climb back into the boat, but it was too late. A dark shadow flashed underwater, and he was dragged into the water. Lisa was so terrified she was shaking all over. Meanwhile, the truck driver woke up from his unconscious state. He was trapped inside the wrecked cab. He kicked the door with all his might, and finally managed to kick it open. But before he could crawl out, a shark lunged out of the water. The driver quickly became the shark's lunch. The small town descended into chaos as floodwaters poured into the houses. Meanwhile, the sharks rode the storm surge into town. They caught the scent of beef and blood. They swam around, treating the area as their hunting ground. The girl who had just warned everyone was named Kayla. She was on the second floor. Since her house was flooding, she could stay on higher ground for the time being. Seeing that Lisa was still trapped in the car, she felt terrified. After hesitating for a long time, she rushed into the kitchen, grabbed a kitchen knife, and prepared to rescue Lisa. Kayla climbed out the second floor window. Just as she stepped onto the edge of the roof, her foot slipped, and she nearly fell into the water. Her face went pale with fear, but she gritted her teeth and pressed on. Stepping on floating planks and debris, she inched closer to Lisa's car. After finally climbing onto the roof, Kayla used the knife to cut through the roof, then reached out to chop at the branch trapping Lisa. Lisa endured the pain of her contractions, cooperating with her while struggling to stay conscious. Finally, the branch was severed. Kayla pulled Lisa out of the car. The two crawled back into the house, temporarily escaping the shark. But their safety was only temporary. The floodwaters continued to rise. The entire house was creaking,